Can a triangle saw blade cut wood? What about one that's just a bar? Or what about one that's missing half its teeth? I intend to find out. In past videos, I've made saw blades out of everything from wood to glass. Those made for some interesting results, but none of them were actually as good as a normal metal saw blade. So today, I'm going back to using metal, but instead of doing boring old circles, I'm going to use some more interesting shapes and see how those perform.
What started as a goofy idea turned out to be an experiment with very interesting results, along with a generous helping of extreme danger.
Oh, it's vibrating so bad.
To start out, I had to figure out how to turn a normal circular saw blade into these other shapes. So I fired up Fusion 360. This is boring, so it'll mostly be edited out. But what you need to know is that it took forever because you're not supposed to use Fusion 360 for Waterjet files. Not to mention all the iPad breaks I had to take in between. Finally, I had them all ready and went to cut them out on the Waterjet. If you don't know, this bad boy pressurizes water to 60,000 psi and can cut pretty much anything. That makes cutting this steel a walk in the park. It works by adding in this garnet powder right before it comes out the nozzle to give the water more cutting power. Garnet is a stone that kind of looks like a ruby, but it's not quite as hard. Now that those are cut out, I'll wash them and use some compressed air to get them nice and cleaned up. But when I least expected it, disaster struck. I tried to put the blades on the saw, and they were too small. After almost dying, I went and got the Dremel and widened every saw blade by hand. I wanted to make sure the blades fit well and that there was no wobbling, but I must have gotten a little too excited when I was catting because I made the center holes too small. This cost me many Dremel bits, but after spending an hour doing something that would have taken 2 seconds in the catting stage, the blades all fit. Just as the old Japanese proverb says, measure once, cut twice. For the second batch of blades, I asked Palmer to help, and he drew them up in like 5 minutes. And we made the center hole bigger, so I didn't have to jump off a bridge later. Just like that, we're ready to test these out. But we'll be back in the shop before the end of the video, believe you me.
That's the British Isles right there. Smashing day for a Waterjet channel video. The main one I'm worried about is the Trapezoid. That one might kind of look like when you throw a rock in the washing machine and it blows up. So hopefully that doesn't happen. The other sketchy thing is we don't have the variac to control the voltage of the saw. All right, let's test this thing. Do my thighs look really nice right now? Huh, it's pretty clean, very flat. There's a couple burns, but other than that, it's pretty nice. 10 would be the score a saw blade from the store would get if you just cut some wood with it. So this is pretty close, but not quite all the way there. So I give the circle an 8 out of 10 on cut quality.
Oh man, those chunks it's taken off are just so tiny. It's like just barely scraping off a little at a time. Yeah, not a lot going on here. Just like very gradually shaving away parts of wood. You can see the shavings kind of flying off, but other than that, not too exciting. The circle took 10 seconds to cut, and the quality score was 8, and it got some coolness votes, but we're taking those away. Come on, guys, this is a circle. This isn't a cool shape. So we put that through our calculator, and that gives us a score of 8.07 out of 10. Let's see what these other shapes can do.
So we're going to be testing these off of 3 criteria. How well they cut the wood, obviously, how quickly they cut the wood, and how cool they look. That one we're not deciding ourselves though. And remember, the goal here is to beat the circle, the boring circle. I say we do the hexagon next because a hexagon is kind of the closest thing we have to a circle here. All right, out with the old and in with the new. All right, I'm a little nervous for this one because it's not a circle. So let's make sure that's on there tight. Let's see how balanced it feels. It's definitely a lot slower and harder to get through the wood. Oh, it's okay. It's hot. Yeah, that's hot. I'm gonna keep trying, see how long it takes. That's not good. It just can't go through the rest of the way. Call me Will Smith, because, that's hot. Ouch! There we go. All right, let's get this off. It's hot. It looks like the outside points are the only thing that touched. You can see it's pretty burnt and it's a little rough. There's some chunks cut out there, but it still cut through it and it did a fairly good job. So in a pinch, you could use a Hexagon saw blade. Hexagon cut quality score, 5 out of 10.
All right, here comes the Hexagon. Okay, getting some initial chips there. Just ever so slightly. Oh, I'm noticing that the teeth are kind of hitting it at the wrong angle. It's not really the sharp part that's getting it. Oh, there's a big chip coming off. So maybe the design was a little crappy and that's why it took so long. So maybe it's more my fault than the shape's fault. The Hexagon took forever to cut, 67 seconds, and the cut quality was only 5 out of 10. However, it did get some coolness votes, so the total score is 2.1 out of 10. Not great.
Oh no.
The triangle, the strongest shape. Here we go with the triangle. Let's see if it feels balanced. It feels a little off balance, but not too bad. It's not shaking me, but it is vibrating more than the circle or the Hexagon. So we'll see what happens with this one. It's working. It's shooting off little sparks of wood. They're flying out. It's crazy. Okay, I bottomed it out. All right, let's finish it off. Oh, that is funny. Oh, that's hot. Ouch. Oh, look how it like shredded all the wood and like the grain is super exposed because of all these little pieces that flew off. Compared to the Hexagon, I'd say there's a little bit more burning and the removal of material is a little worse, but it's about the same level of quality as the Hexagon. Triangle blade cut score, 4 out of 10. Not great.
Almost contact. Okay, we're touching. It looks like only 2 of the sides are getting good contact and the other one not really. So once again, a design flaw. Oh, look at those chips flying off. Oh, and you can see the trails of smoke going with them. That one on the left side is just a smoking ball of wood. The triangle took 45 seconds to cut and it only got a quality score of 4, but it did get some coolness factor votes, giving it a total of 3.25 out of 10. These haven't been great so far, but one of them actually outperformed the circle.
Which blade should we do now, Daniel?
I'm thinking square. This is one of our standard shapes, but you may be asking, oh, what's wrong with the corners? Why do they look like that? Well, I'm gonna let past me take you through this, and also future me that's doing the voiceover.
I'm going to heat up the corners to make them easier to bend, and bend them each way because Daft Woolly 6145 says that bending the teeth in different directions will make the blade cut with no friction. Or maybe it was Daniel Connolly 642, I can't remember. Then, while the teeth are still hot, I'll quench it in this quenching oil. This is steel hardening 101. Quickly taking the steel from red hot to room temperature makes the molecules line up and hardens the steel. I'll use a shop paper towel to spread the oil evenly. But the poor towel caught on the teeth as I was doing this, and he ended up giving his life to spread this oil. You guys better say RIP Towelly in the comments or it'll haunt your toilet paper so it always rips. Okay, back to present me.
This might be the best one yet because of what I did to it. So, let's put it on and see how it does. Here we go. It feels pretty balanced again. A little off, but that's all right. Oh, that is chewing through the wood. Ho-ho. I think that was indeed our most effective saw blade because of the things I did to it. I'm pretty sure that's because the teeth are bent. You can see this one bends left. Oh, that one bends right. This one bends left. This in general was just a really clean cut. However, it did kind of remove some material there between the grains. No burning, which is probably because of the bent teeth. So I would score this a 6.5 on the quality test.
Oh, wow. There's like a little explosion every time one of the corners hits. Oh, the wood chips flying off. This one's so violent. Oh. Ouch. Oh, that's a big chunk flying off. It's a little nasty, but it's efficient. The square was pretty quick at 13 seconds, and its cut quality was 6.5, but nobody voted for it for some reason, so its total score is 6.9 out of 10. Nice.
Alright, now what shape?
I'm thinking rectangle.
Oh, but that's so similar, Daniel.
Oh, but this doesn't have the modifications I made to the square. This will be more like a baseline, more fair for the rest of them that didn't get the special mods. All right, rectangle going on. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, that's a lot slower than the square. There it is. So you can see without bending the teeth, they do burn a lot more, and the whole thing is pretty hot. Like, this is kind of burning my fingers. And you can see how much more it rubs on the rest of the blade. Even these teeth have marks on them when they didn't on the square. So this one definitely had a lot more burning than the square. Here's the square for reference, most likely because I didn't bend the teeth at all. However, it does look like it removed less material in between the grains. So I guess it depends on if you want burning or a cleaner cut, but the rectangle was pretty good. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay, let's see if the teeth being straight makes that big of a difference. Okay, so it looks like only a couple of the teeth are making contact again. And it's also hitting on the bottom of the tooth, which is not great, but it's still making its way through. The rectangle took 33 seconds to cut. It got a quality of 6, and it got some votes, bringing its total to 5.19 out of 10. Not too bad. That's better than the triangle and the hexagon, so we're moving up here.
The mighty Pentagon. I don't see any airplanes, so we should be fine. The CIA loves this shape. All right, here we go. Pentagon. The Pentagon was goated. No wonder the CIA loves this shape. Finishing the job. Wait, why was that so good? That was like better than the hexagon. Here we have the results from the Pentagon. No, they aren't classified government documents. It's just cut wood. I mean, the cut is pretty clean. It went through pretty quickly. There's some burning, but definitely not as much as the hexagon. The hexagon had a lot more burning and a lot more material removed, which doesn't make a ton of sense because the Pentagon has fewer teeth contacting. But if you look at it, it looks like we got 2 teeth out of every point. So really there's 10 teeth hitting on this one, where there's only 6 hitting on this one. Pentagon score, we'll say 6.
Here we go. I got high hopes for the Pentagon.
Those teeth are in a good position.
Yeah, that's a good design. Well done, past me. Oh, look at those big chunks coming off. That's how you know it's an actually decently made saw blade. Wow. Those are some chunks. The Pentagon tied the circle on time for 10 seconds, but its quality was a little lower at 6. However, it did get some votes for the coolness factor, bringing its total to 6.93 out of 10. Also nice.
Oh man, so many good choices. Should we go with the star? I'm kind of feeling like a star.
Dude.
Ooh, that's violent. It doubles as a ninja star when you're not cutting any wood. All right, here we go. Star-shaped saw blade. Oh, there it goes. The piece of wood went flying. Where'd it go? Oh, just on the back of the saw. Definitely a lot of burning on there, and quite a bit of material removed in between. A pretty ugly cut. If we look at the blade, definitely some burning on all the tips, and even a little bit down more towards the center of the blade, which is probably why it was so burned. The star score, unfortunately, it's only 4.5, but it does double as a ninja star.
Oh, it looks crazy while it's spinning faster. Oh man. That would hurt to get hit by those sharp spikes. Oh, that's a chunk it just took off.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Oh, it's making quick progress. The star took 18 seconds, but its quality was only 4.5. However, it got the most votes for style, so that gives it a total of 6.27 out of 10. Not bad.
It's time for the big boy, the Trapezoid.
I'm actually shaking in my boots. This is gonna shake the entire saw blade.
Yeah,
the entire, what's it called, miter saw?
Chop saw? I don't know the difference. Someone's gonna get mad at me in the comments. Past me also had a little secret on this one. I bent the teeth just the slightest amount on this one. So we shall see if it makes a difference. I think these two might be the only corners that are touching. I don't know if these ones are gonna touch at all. We'll find out. All right, here we go with the trusty trapezoid. Let's see how she does. Ouch, pulled my hair. Oh, that's vibrating so bad. All right, I'm just gonna make contact quickly so it doesn't get going too fast. Oh, that was dumb. All right, we're gonna start a little further away this time, but we still don't want it to get going too fast because it's sketchy. Oh dear. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Oh, it's like vibrating the clamps off the wood. We gotta figure out how to hold this wood in place better. The vibration from this one is crazy. All right, it got through it with surprisingly little. Oh yeah, I bent the teeth so it didn't burn. I'm noticing a trend here. That was quite the interesting one. It's definitely at an angle because of how violent it was. And it kind of ruined our whole setup. So, however, there is minimal burning, but quite a bit of material removed. You can also see on the blade the damage that happened. That's probably from the first time when I started it and ran it straight into the wood. I think we have to give the trapezoid a 3 out of 10.
Okay, oh, the trapezoid. Oh, it's so sketchy. Okay, so how many sides are hitting? It looks like the 2 long sides are. Oh, it's about to take a big chunk out of that wood. You can see it vibrating off.
Oh, it's lifting up. Take off.
Oh, we have lift off. Oh, it's getting beat up by the blade.
Playing baseball with that.
Babe Ruth on the blade.
There's another one.
Here it comes. Oof. Ouch. That's so funny. What is that reminding me of?
It's so cool to watch them spin around.
Yeah. The trapezoid is definitely a violent shape. It looks like one of the corners has a good tooth and the other one kind of doesn't. So another design flaw there. The trapezoid took 24 seconds to cut through and had a quality pretty low at 3. And also nobody voted for it. This is so sad. How could nobody vote for the trapezoid? That gives it a total of 3.89 out of 10. Pretty bad.
All right, I think it's time for the cross, or maybe it's an X, the X factor. All right, here we, oh, that was loose. Yikes.
That's so scary.
That's so sketchy. All right, cross blade going on. Feels balanced. Let's go. All right, I maxed out, gotta flip it over. Very nice. It was actually pretty clean. Like that went through pretty quick. I mean, there's minimal burning here and it was a fairly clean cut. There's 8 teeth contacting the wood, so that would make sense. The more teeth, the better the cut. So I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, I'm excited for this one. Oh, it looks like a good design. The teeth are in a good spot. It's getting some clean cutting there. Oh, that's a big chunk that just flew off. The wood was a little damaged from the trapezoid from before. But overall, that looks nice. It's taking little chunks off, a little bit at a time. Cutting through that wood efficiently, it looks like.
Yeah, there's definitely a few chunks flying around, but that's probably because of the trapezoid, like you said. This one's very gentle with the way it treats the wood, I feel like.
Yeah, now that we're a little deeper past the damage part, it's very clean. The cross did pretty well. 12 seconds to cut, a quality score of 7.5, and it got some good votes. 7.83 out of 10. Very close to the circle, but not as good as another one that's coming up.
All right, now we got some truly wacky ones left. I think we go with the Crescent. We kind of just guessed on where to place this hole, but it feels fairly balanced right there. All right, I'm pretty nervous about this one, I'm not gonna lie. Let's test how balanced it is. Oh, it's not balanced at all. Oh dear. All right, I'm gonna back up a little. Oh dear. Oh, it's vibrating so bad. The clamps just immediately come off. Oh my gosh, this is so sketchy. Bentley is doing the most here, Mr. Clamp. New nickname for Bentley just dropped. Oh my gosh. That was scary. It flung wood at me. Things aren't looking great for the Crescent. A lot of damage here, a lot of material removed on the cutting face, and coincidentally, it removed a crescent shape out of the wood. So definitely not a good saw blade, but it was kind of entertaining and a little bit terrifying. So Crescent, 2 out of 10. I don't know how much worse it can get.
Oh man, look how much the whole table is shaking. Oh, that's a violent chunk it just took out.
Yeah, one of them doesn't even touch and the other just destroys.
Yeah, no wonder it was so violent. Gosh. Oh man, it's like repeatedly punching it. It's like not really, oh man. That's so violent.
Look at that. It's like confetti.
Holy crap. Oh wow, that's so much getting thrown around. It's like when you throw a rock in a washing machine. Maybe it could be better if it was perfectly balanced, as all things should be, but I don't know. Like, I think it's just at a huge disadvantage with such a big chunk missing out of it. Surprisingly, the Crescent only took 12 seconds, but its quality was so bad at 2 that its score is going to suffer from that. It got some votes for the coolness factor, bringing its total up to 4.5 out of 10. Not bad, all things considered, but we should probably take some points off for it being really dangerous.
All right, our penultimate one, the bar. This one's going to be quite interesting, so let's find out. It's working pretty well. That was working like a dream. Let's just rotate it real quick. Easy, the mighty bar is a champ. That was like one of the fastest ones and cleanest cuts. A horse walks into a bar. All right, sorry. The bar is really low on these jokes. However, the bar was really high on the quality of this cut. It went through surprisingly fast. I don't know why it did so well. Like, it should have been the same as the rectangle in my mind, but for some reason it wasn't. There's minimal burning here, and the cut is pretty clean. There's a little bit of extra material removed there. The saw blade's in great shape. There's not really any burning on it. It cut super fast and worked pretty well. So I'm surprised to say this, but bar is like an 8 out of 10.
Okay, here it comes. Wow, that's so interesting to watch. It's just a line pretty much. Okay, it looks like only one of the sides is really doing the cutting. And it takes a good chunk whenever it does. The other side isn't really getting any action. Just like me for real. The mighty bar only took 11 seconds to cut, and its quality was tied with the circle. So if you add on the coolness votes, it gets a total of 8.21 out of 10, beating the circle. That's right, get wrecked, circle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our final shape. Oh, Destiny 2? The circle with chunks cut out of it. Maybe this is another idea we could do. We could test saw blades that we just cut shapes out of and see how well they work. How much of a saw blade can you remove and still have it work? If you're interested, let us know. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1. It feels like a normal saw blade, but just a little wonky. That was good. It was like almost as good as a normal saw blade. That's very interesting. The cut quality is honestly pretty good. Very interesting to compare it to the circle. You can see the circle is a lot more smooth. I guess there's definitely more burning on this one. Honestly pretty good for having half the teeth removed. I mean, 6.5 out of 10.
Here's the normal saw with the circles cut out. Oh, making contact. Oh, look at those scoops it's taken out. It looks like there is one side doing more work than the others for some reason. I don't know why that would be, because it's supposed to be centered. Maybe not, actually. It looks like they're doing the equal amounts of work. Well, it looks about as good as the circle saw blade. I think this is a lot cooler to watch in slow-mo than the circular saw blade, because you can actually see when it's removing material. Cutting out parts of the blade makes it just a tad slower than the circle and brings its quality down just a bit. It did get some coolness votes though, so that brings its total to 7.12 out of 10. Not quite enough to beat the circle, which makes sense, but it was worth a shot. Cheers, brother.
Football.